Oh, I know there's Eastern Rail.
I've started recording.
Shit.
Mr. Hello, there's Eastern Rail link.
Hi! Honestly, where am I doing? Stop recording me.
Okay, hello YouTube. This video is kind of not really about anything. I think I'm going to review a movie on a whim.
Again?
Yeah, but a good movie this time.
Fine, I need a haircut, just saying. No, you can't pull that out and cite it as a good movie.
Yes, I can. Oh, I've actually already done a video about Death Machine.
Yes, you have.
Well, wait for that.
Cancel.
I'm not going to cancel this video. This video is YouTube Gold.
Really?
Yeah.
Is everything YouTube Gold?
Most things, yes. Well, YouTube is as YouTube does. Okay, I'm going to review this.
You're being hailed.
Poltergeist. Now, I watched it in 3 installments because I'm a student and I have things to do.
Bullshit! You get Tuesdays off.
I get Tuesdays off.
Because you're a debt cadet and you don't do any work.
Basically, now the tagline for this is, it knows what scares you, but immediately there's an incorrect thing there because it's not really an it, it's lots of things. I mean, the little woman who talks like a child goes on about it, as in the beast, but you don't really find that out till the end. I mean, like most of it. In fact, it's incredibly slow moving for like an amazing movie.
Nearby.
There's a pub nearby. Basically, it's the story of this family and their daughter, Carol Ann, and various other people. I can't remember what the characters are called, but it doesn't matter. One of them's called Stephen because they say he's like the only character they ever say a name of, apart from Carol Ann, because obviously they always go, "Oh, Carol Ann, Mummy loves you," and then, but the mummy's always going, "Oh, Stephen, save Carol Ann." Yeah, because basically, Carol Ann, she sleepwalks at the beginning. She's like, sleepwalking. And she goes and puts her hands on telly in that creepy, sinister way. Although that's actually not what it looks like. And she freaks out her family by like going, "They're coming." Well, obviously not like that, but she does say they're coming. And her mum's like, that's weird. And then it kind of leaps. Like, there's a lot of leaping between scenes, like, randomly. I can't really remember. I mean, I watched it 4 days ago. But, kind of leaps between scenes a little bit. And then suddenly the mum is up and she's, and her and her husband are in bed, smoking weed, I think. Which is just, it's kind of, like, incongruous as to their sort of, middle class, kind of nouveau riche, to rhyme with scum, bourgeois lifestyle.
Did I invent that all today?
Yes, you did.
Yay.
It kind of rhymes with scum. Yeah, that was not what I was going to say. It's kind of like incongruous with their lifestyle. But anyway, it's kind of relevant. They're smoking weed, and then Stephen's in front of the mirror going, before, after, and sticking his stomach out, and that's kind of weird. And then, yeah, and the mum's in the bed reading about sleepwalking, saying, I used to sleepwalk. And wow, this is kind of irrelevant to the plot, kind of thing. And then her son comes in, and there's a scary, clearly very fake tree. I mean, I know it was 1982, but the tree is particularly fake. But I think that's great, because now it'd probably be like a CGI tree. I mean, no one wants a real tree. Never work with children, animals, or trees. And, yeah, so, like, there's a shitty tree, and the boy is scared of it, and then there's a storm, and then he dreams in the tree. Oh, this is not the right order.
Oh
well.
Okay.
And yeah, and then like the tree is there. And it's like, oh, I'm scared, and then the little kids end up sleeping in the parents' bed. And that's that. And then the next day, some weird stuff happens. And they're having a swimming pool built in the back garden, which is irrelevant until the end. A lot of the things in here are quite relevant. I actually really enjoyed it, but there's a lot of irrelevant things. And, lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, and they're in the kitchen, and the builder's eating stuff through the window, and goes in and takes some stew out of the pot and eats it. And it's all very weird. And, yeah. And then the mother's giving the kids breakfast and she's complaining that they don't put their chairs on the table. And she goes away, and the table's been cleared, and Caroline's like sitting on the worktop or whatever, and she looks at the table, and all the chairs are like stuck out around it, like out from the table. She's like, oh, and goes and says, I told you to tuck your chairs under, in that classic I'm in a horror movie so I'm an instant idiot kind of way. And she goes and tucks them back under, there you go. And then the camera cleverly pans away in that, I don't know, tension building shot. She goes, puts it in the dishwasher, comes back, the chairs are in a pyramid on the table. And she's like, ah, pyramid chairs! And then it cuts randomly again, and I think my hair goes this side. And Stephen's giving a tour of some people around a house. Great. Then he comes back, and his wife has drawn all over the floor like these circles, and then circles within circles, and lines and black lines, and she puts the chair on it, and she goes, look at this, Stephen, and the chair goes into the wall, and then they put the kid on it, and a little helmet on Caroline, and she goes into the wall, and maybe Stephen does it, I don't know, and then she does it, and she complains about her not having waxed the floor, and goes, oh, it's really fun, it's great, and then I stopped watching, or stopped realising what was going on, and then an important bit comes. They're in bed, and the little boy's looking at the clown, and there's a storm coming, and they're all talking about how there's a storm coming, and it's scary. And, yeah, I might be doing this in the wrong order, whatever. And, yeah, there's a storm coming, and they're scared, and he puts his jacket over the clown, as it were. And then the really crap tree crashes through the window and grabs the kid, and he comes outside, and they're screaming, and there's rain and everything, and everyone starts going crazy. He's like, the tree is eating me, the tree is eating me, and yeah. And meanwhile, Carol Ann and the rest of the furniture are being sucked into the toy closet, and then the storm dies down after they rescue from the tree, and he's muddy and scared. And Caroline is in the cupboard, and they go in, and like everything is. And they don't seem too worried about the fact, and they think she was playing in the cupboard. They note later that she was playing in the cupboard. Well, most of the time when kids play, they don't pick up the beds and just lie them in front of the cupboard. Like, I mean, Caroline's like 4 feet tall, if that. No, 3 feet tall. She's tiny because she's like a baby, and she can't pick up a bed and put it in front of the closet, but they don't seem to mind about that. What is really weird is they go in and they find the clown under the rug, and then Caroline is inside the TV, yada yada yada, and it's really quite boring from then on. Then like stuff happens. I turned it off and didn't watch it for a couple of days, and then I finished watching it today, so I can't really remember what happens. Yeah, and then Stephen talks to his boss. Meanwhile, they go to this university somewhere and grab these paranormal people, and there's like this alcoholic woman who says she's a waste because she's got a degree in psychology, and yet she's looking into all this paranormal activity, and then they get really impressed, and then there's this great scene where this guy goes, I'm really hungry, and takes this incredibly fake steak out of the fridge, and then the steak's sort of going along the surface like, and then it gets to the end and stuff, and like all this stuff comes out of the steak. It's really weird, and then he runs into the bathroom. I can't remember what happened because someone came to the window and I went and looked out the window, but then suddenly he goes to the bathroom to wash his face, and then he's like looking in the mirror, like peeling his face off, and it's all going in the sink, and like, yeah. And then actually it's a dream, obviously, because you have to have that. It's a horror movie from the 80s, so what are you going to do? And this is getting very tedious. So skip!
Now. I need to ask you important questions, but I can't do them while you're putting stuff that's going to be published on the web.
No. And then, let's skip to the end, this crazy old lady comes in, and she's really short and really funny, and she talks like a child, and I thought maybe she's the voice for Carol Ann, because sometimes when Carol Ann speaks, she looks like she's got a dub voice. And actually, Stephen realises after his boss talks to him that the whole housing estate is built on top of a graveyard.
An Indian burial ground.
Not an ancient Indian burial ground, just a
Fucking
graveyard, and they took the headstones away, but not the bodies, and then they rescue Carol Ann with a bit of rope, and then they think it's all over, but then they come back and they have to battle again, and she goes they try and take Carol Ann and the kid back into the closet again, because they get Carol Ann out of the closet because she was in the closet, and now she's out of the closet, and then the mother runs outside and she's in the swimming pool hole and all these bodies are coming up, and then she goes back in and she's like, no, and then the neighbours are there to help her, and she's like, my kids, and then Stephen comes up in the car and they all get in the car, but like after all these bodies have come out of the ground, they're going bodies, and then the car drives off and they go to a motel, and then Stephen puts the TV outside the motel, and it's the end, and it's really weird. Oh yeah, and the house does that thing, like it goes up into the air and implodes and goes very stereotypically. Thanks for watching!
That was shit! It still hasn't stopped.
Oh!